Boom. Good morning.
Good morning.
Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Shalom. Salam. Hotep. Peace and blessings. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I want to thank you all for having me here this morning. Project Sankofa, right? I'm here for the right place. This is Project Sankofa.
Yes,
Somebody
indeed.
tell me what Sankofa means. Anybody know what Sankofa means? I saw your hand go up. Oh, you don't know. Young man, what Sankofa mean? To go back to give back. I like that. There's not only an action to go and do something for yourself, but then you got to give back to someone else. That's dope. That's dope. Well, my name is Brother Miykael Long. I am a Kansas City native. I grew up here. I grew up on 35th and Agnes. Anybody know what 35th and Agnes is? I grew up right over there. I went to Sanford B. Ladd for about 3 years. And then my mother remarried. I moved out to Johnson County. Went to high school at Shawnee Mission South 1 year. Then I moved all the way to New York, to Syracuse, New York. Okay? So I graduated high school out of Syracuse, New York. To play football, right? So they gave me a scholarship to play football at the University of Maine. Okay, the Black Bears. It's in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Okay? So I played football, defensive back. I got jacked up, though, man. In high school, I did my thing. College, I broke my jaw. I had shoulder surgery. I had shoulder stingers in my arm. I had my knee ACL torn. I just got jacked up playing football, man. I did that playing basketball, so my coach was like, you can't play basketball no more. Because they had money invested in me, right? But long story short, I ended up graduating from the University of Maine in 1998 with the communications degree and a philosophy minor, okay? Moved back to Kansas City, started working in the community. I actually used to teach here. That was my classroom right over there. This is back in like 02, 03, 2002, 2003. And I love working with youth, you know, because you all are the future. What you all doing now is preparing you all for tomorrow to be the leaders for tomorrow. So make sure you get your studies. And tell me your name again, man. What's your last name?
Work Up. They don't know that.
Okay.
Mr. Leroy, Brother Leroy.
Mr. Leroy, Brother Leroy. I'm sure they're putting in work to make sure you all are getting everything you all need to be successful. Okay? And so what I'm here today to talk with you all about is your passion in life. What it is you're most, like, juiced about doing. What do you like doing most? You know what I'm saying? Things that you really enjoy doing. Okay? What you're good at doing. Okay? You need to really understand that and like practice doing it every day to make sure that when you become an adult that you can actually do it well and then get paid for it. Because when you're doing something you love to do and you're getting paid for it, it makes it that much better. But you have to prepare. You have to be the best Steph Curry that you can be. Right? Steph Curry, he's cold. You see him in the game, pop, pop, pop. He's just popping trades, making all kinds of shots. But guess what? The practice that he puts into what he does is like ridiculous. He practices so hard that he almost makes himself sick. Practicing. Right? You think of Mr. Goodwin. I'm sure he's a great teacher. But he had to go to school to learn how to be a good teacher, a great teacher. Okay? You have to prepare yourself to do things that eventually one day you're going to help other people with. You're going to give back, right? So what I do, and I don't even get paid for it yet, but I know that it's going to come, right? I actually work at the Full Employment Council. My job is helping people find their career. So I help people find jobs. That's what I do during the daytime, right? But my passion, as you can see here, I'm the creative visionary and the editor-in-chief of Hebrew Vision News. Okay, Hebrew Vision News is a citizen journalism outlet that provides information, provides news coverage of current events, historical events, and other articles of interest. I am the spirit of prophecy, okay? Yes, ma'am. Why they call it Sankofa? Well, Sankofa is an forgetting your history. No matter who you are, remember your people, remember your history, remember everything that they have done to lay the foundation for you. For instance, for those who are African American and Latino, in Kansas City, Missouri, 27th Street, everybody know what 27th Street is? Yeah. There was a point in time when African Americans, Latinos, Jews, like Mexicans, Jews, could not come past 27th Street. Anybody know that? If you knew that, raise your hand. He knew that. So you knew that. How did you know that?
My mom used to live here.
She told you about it? My goodness. So that's information you need to know. But it was because of the work of your ancestors and your elders who laid the foundation so that you all can come in. You couldn't go to the plaza. You couldn't go to Swope Park. You couldn't swim in the Swope Park pool if you were a black, Mexican, or Latino. You couldn't do that. Anybody go swim in the Swope Park pool? Right. But there was a time you couldn't do that. One day out of the year. So if you forget your history and you don't know what took place in the past, you're not going to appreciate and really know what's going on today. So what Hebrew Vision News does is we cover information that makes it relevant so that you know what is going on in your environment around you. If you're walking with headphones on, you got some dark glasses on, you got your hood on, you got your head down, and you're just walking in the alley and somebody comes up behind you and tries to stick you, are you going to know that they're coming? Why?
You got your headphones on.
Right, you're not aware. You've completely blocked everything out in your environment. So you don't know what's going on around you. It's the same thing with information. It's the same thing with history. There's a phrase that says, if you don't know history, you are doomed to repeat it. You're doomed to repeat it. She's tired. Yeah, late night. She was up on the phone. You just had a late night. I understand. I hope you have a good day, though, okay? Take some deep breaths. Sit up straight. Take some deep breaths. That's going to help. So, Hebrew Vision News was born in 2011, right? I was on the internet looking for news articles that were relevant to my experience, right? I identify as a Hebrew. That's why it's called Hebrew Vision News. Anybody knows what a Hebrew is? Can somebody tell me who a Hebrew is that you may know of? No one knows who a Hebrew is? I'm going to tell you a name that everybody knows the name as, but his real name is a Hebrew name. Everybody knows who Jesus Christ is, right? Yeah. But he's a Hebrew. He's a Hebrew. But his name is Yehoshua ben Yosef. That was what his mother named him. That was a Hebrew name. Okay? Just information. But if you don't know these things, right, you can get kind of sidetracked. But Hebrew Vision News was born because I was looking for information that was relevant to my experience. Things that helped me understand the world better. Okay? So like when you read history books a lot of times, there may be times when you look through the history book and you don't see pictures of people who look like you in it. Right? Like, where am I at in this book? So if you're not found somewhere, guess what you got to do? You got to go find it. You have to find what represents you, because if someone is not representing you, who's going to do it? Nobody. Right? And then even on top of that, a lot of the representations that I found about me were not really encouraging. They weren't really positive. You know, they weren't images that made me feel good about myself. Right? So Hebrew Vision News was born to create images, to create a representation, and to provide information that would help people that not only look like me, but look like other people as well, because we're about the human family. Here's a quick question. How many races are there on Earth? How many races are there on Earth? Anybody know? There are 1,000 races? You talking about like people running out, like racing like that? Okay. As far as human beings, how many races of human beings are there on Earth? As far as human beings, how many races of human beings are there? Really? How many you think? 10 or 5? How many you think? 50 races? I would say this. There's over like 100 plus, well really it's probably thousands of nations on Earth. But as far as how many races there are on Earth, there's only one race. Human beings are one race of people. It doesn't matter if you're from Mexico. It doesn't matter if you're from Guatemala. It doesn't matter if you're from Russia. It doesn't matter if you're from Nigeria, China, United States. It doesn't matter where you're from. You are a human being and you belong to the race of human beings. So Hebrew Vision News, first and foremost, promotes humanity. We want people to understand no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, right? No matter what your color of your skin is, you are first and foremost a human being. And let no one treat you less than that. Let no one treat you less than that. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes you wear. Right? What matters is who you are. Okay? So we try to make people feel good about themselves, and we strive to tell the truth. The truth. We try our best to tell the truth according to our understanding. That is the most important thing. And it starts with little bitty things. You do your homework, well, what had happened was, I had went and did something. No, just say no, I didn't do my homework. Own up to what you did do or what you didn't do. Be responsible. It makes it so much easier. It may not be good what's going to result, but it makes it easier to deal with. Guess what happens when you tell a lie? What happens when you tell a lie? What happens? Things get worse. Why do they get worse?
You ain't telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk, it's like something bad.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
When you lie, you make one lie, and then the next time when you lie, you make another one.
The stories don't match. Yes.
You lie, and then like you lie, you know your mama or your daddy treat you back every time you already know that you gonna like be on punishment.
Boy, you're gonna be on punishment anyway if you did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's better to be wrong doing something wrong as opposed to try to cover it up. And then when it comes back, and they find out later that you did something wrong, that's even worse. Because people lose their trust in you. If you tell someone something, you want it to be true because you don't want people to not believe your word. You ever heard the story of the boy who cried wolf?
Yeah.
Right. So what happened to that boy? When the wolf came, did they believe him?
No.
Why not?
Because it's lying.
Because he was lying the whole time. Like, dude, yup, the wolf's coming. Then when the wolf came, and it really came, everybody got jacked up. But it was too late because the dude, his word wasn't worth anything anymore. His word was not worth anything to anybody because he had told so many stories, made up so much stuff, and just lied. You shall see, young man. Boom. So, Hebrew Vision News seeks to tell the truth. We do research, we write articles, but we also find articles from other places. We do interviews. Last night I interviewed, anybody ever heard of Mama C, Charlotte Hill O'Neal? She been here? Mama C? We had an interview last night. She came over to our house, as a matter of fact. We fed her. We just treated her like royalty. Because she really is. Each and every one of you all, by the way, are also royalty. But you got to carry yourself like that. If you don't know that you're a king or a queen, you can't act like a king or a queen or a prince or a princess. Right? The problem with people in general is they don't value themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't think that they're worth anything. And guess what that does? That makes them treat other people like they're not worth anything. And we got some problems in our community. Would you agree that we have problems in our community?
Yes.
Anybody hear sirens every night?
Yes.
Anybody hear gunshots every night?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody know people that, you see people on drugs and stuff that aren't good, that aren't healthy? Well, it's because people are not taught to care about themselves. They're not taught to care about other people. And that's what needs to happen in order for, anybody want a change to happen for good? Anybody want some, let me ask this question. Does anybody want to just live a jacked up life? If you want to live a jacked up life, raise your hand. If you don't want to have anything good happen to you in life, or anybody that you love or care about, raise your hand. If you want to live a good life, and you want to see good things happen to other people, raise your hand. You see? But guess what? It's not just going to happen. It's never just going to happen. You can't just sit down and just not do anything and expect things not to happen. Somebody tell me, how do things happen? Where do they come from? Where do they first come from? Your what? Your mind. That's the most important thing, but it does come from you. You're right. But the first place that any Genesis school, right? It's called Genesis school. It came from a thought first. Somebody thought, you know what? I want to create a school. I want to create a school that's going to teach children about who they are and also prepare them to be productive citizens in the world. So somebody thought of Genesis Academy. They got some other people together because you can't do everything by yourself. You need help. You need help. And they started planning. They started working on ideas. They probably put a lot of hours into it, even probably put some things out that they didn't even do. Like, man, this is not going to work here. They probably even failed a few times. Michael Jordan. Anybody know who Michael Jordan is?
Me.
You know Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team?
Yeah.
He tried out for basketball and got cut. Serena Williams, she got rejected all kinds of times too. She's even lost a lot of times. But has that stopped her?
No.
She's the greatest women's tennis player in history, hands down. And I'm not just talking about like sports. Let's talk about something else. Has anybody ever heard of? Go ahead. Thomas Jefferson. Okay. Abraham Lincoln. Let me take you here. Abraham Lincoln ran for presidential office about 12 times prior to getting elected. So he ran 12 times. No, he lost. He lost 12 times before he got elected twice. That's crazy, right? So that means he was 2 out of 14. If he had 14 fights, he lost 12 of them and won 2. That's pretty bad, isn't it? But he's one of the most remembered presidents in United States history. That's pretty powerful. Because when you lose, guess what you're supposed to do from your loss? What are you supposed to do? Get back and try again. But you, Brother Leroy, you learn from it. What did I do wrong? How could I have done it better this time? When you make a mistake, what did I do wrong? How could I have done it differently? What can I have done better? What shouldn't I have done? Here's the Malcolm X. Anybody know who Malcolm X was? Wow. Now this is a story that you have to really respect. This was a pimp. He was a literal pimp. A literal pimp. Right? He wasn't playing. He was a literal pimp. He was a drug pusher. He was a drug user. He got arrested, convicted, and sentenced to prison. Dropped out of school. Right? He was just a mess. Malcolm was a mess. There's no other way to put it. His life was just messy. But this man, eventually, in prison, educates himself. What's the first book Malcolm read? Anybody know what the first book Malcolm read was? From cover to cover. Actually, before he read the Quran, he read the dictionary. He read the dictionary. So this means his vocabulary was crazy large. He had a full dictionary vocabulary. He could use words to break down things that people was just like, damn, I don't even know what that meant. He's deep. But he could also make it simple so that people could understand, right? So his life is one of the greatest lives because the transformation, the change he made in his life, going from a loser to one of the most powerful men in the United States of America. Hands down. But you know what he said the most important thing that children, that youth can do for themselves? What's the most important thing you think that he said that youth can do for themselves? I'll put it up here. Anybody know what those are? Exclamation marks. So this is important. Think! Like think! Think! This is the most important thing that children can do for themselves. Don't let someone else think for you. Don't let someone else speak for you. Don't let someone else tell you who you are. Don't get mad if somebody try to tell you, oh, you whack. If you know you're not whack, so what? You can talk all you want. Because I know who I am. You can call me whatever you want, but I know who I am. And this is what Hebrew Vision News, we do. We try to make people know who they are. We provide people with information so that people know who they are, what their history is, where they come from, because that is going to allow you to give back. Because guess what? You're finally going to have something to have to give. If you ain't got no money in a bank account, how you going to get money out? Huh? If you ain't got no water in your water container, how you going to drink water? If somebody else is thirsty, hey, you got some water? Yeah. But you ain't got no water, and you trying to give somebody some water just because you got the container, but ain't nothing in the container, how you going to get somebody something to drink? But what if you ain't got no water, period? See, that's the point. You have to do the work to get what you need first in order to give it. You got to go back to give back. Exactly. And this is what Hebrew Vision News does. We go back and get information for people, and we give people information so that they can read it, think about it, make decisions for themselves. If I tell you the moon is made of cheese, and you believe it, whose fault is that?
Yours.
The person who believed it. Hey, dog, the moon is made of cheese. And every time when you see it get real small, because some big space rats go up there and they chew on the cheese, and it gets small. And then when it get big, they go up there and they throw up on the moon, and the moon come back. Dog. That's deep, right? But if you believe that, like, dang, for real, that's how that happened, right? Or somebody tell you somebody's in the moon, driving the moon, because it's following you everywhere. Anybody ever say, who's driving the moon? You heard that before. Well, if you don't know what makes the moon, and how the sun casts a shadow on the moon because the earth is between the moon and the sun, and it creates a shadow, and it makes, the moon appear in the different phases, and you know that for yourself, dude, man, stop playing. What? That's what somebody told me. Right? Watch this. I'm going to tell you something. We're going to end on this note, okay? I'm going to tell you something. I want you to whisper to her, and I want the last person to get it to tell me what I told her, okay? No, not at all. You ready? Watch how it ends up. You gotta whisper it though. No, one time. This is the law. One time. Can't say it twice. Listen one time. Right. Whatever you think you heard, tell her. Whisper it quietly though, so don't say it loud. buddy room. What's up, buddy? You buddy? Is that your name, buddy? Just go with what you hear. Whatever you hear, tell them. They gonna get it right. Just tell the next person. Tell the next person. Go ahead. Tell whoever. It's gonna get around.
Only once.
Are you participating too, young lady? Are you in this class? Tell her, and then she's gonna tell the whole class what I said. Why? This is everybody's involvement. What did I say? Happy something? Wow. What did I say?
I believe that you can do anything.
That's what I said. I believe that you can do anything. Listen, you gotta listen. Listen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. I told, what's your name? Say it one time. Lesliana. I told Lesliana, I believe that you can do anything that you want to do. Help something. What? You see what I'm saying? There's 3 steps that take place. You have to listen, comprehend, which is think, and then speak. Right? But if you're not listening and paying attention to Mr. Goodwin, to Brother Leroy, the information that he's going to give you, you're going to jack it up. But if you're listening and paying attention, and you're thinking about it, and you're comprehending it, you may not, understand it right away. That's why you got to think about it. What does that mean? What was he trying to tell me? What is this word? I don't understand this word. Are there dictionaries in here?
Yeah, it's a dictionary.
Dictionary. Go get a dictionary. Look it up. Okay, I don't need it. It's just, a case in point. But these are things that I want to leave with you all today. I think we have till 9, correct? I'm a little late. I do got to go to work, too. I'm playing a little hooky today, so y'all just be quiet. Don't tell nobody. I'm supposed to be at a meeting. But I love the youth, so I'm here for you all today. You see what I'm saying? They scheduled a meeting after I had scheduled this. I'm like, I can't miss out on the youth. I hope I just don't lose my job or nothing, boy, because, I need to take care of my family, too. But, man, I want you all to know that I don't know you all from Adam. I don't know you all from anybody, right? But I have love for you. I want you all to know that I have love for you. Mr. Goodwin has love for you. Why? Because he's here every day teaching. He doesn't have to do this. He could be doing anything else in the world that he wants to do. So appreciate this man. Listen to this man. Respect this man. Okay? This is a male teacher. There's not a lot of men teachers. And you all need to see positive men. You need to see that. Because the men you see, Kodak Black, what's his name? What's old boy's name? No, not Migo. He just mumbles all the time. What in the world is he saying? No, him too, though. Designer. Right? Designer, right? What you all have to understand about these artists, these entertainers, right? Listen, please, buddy. These entertainers are not thinking for themselves, first and foremost. The label that they are signed to told them this is what's going to sell for you. If you want to make money, I need you to talk about this, I need you to look like this, and I need you to go about behaving like this. And I'm going to get paid doing that? For real? Where do I sign? Sign right here. So now, Designer, Miykael, Kodak Black are owned by their record label. And they tell them how to think. And what they're doing, I'm going to be straight up, they're infecting your mind. What do I mean by infection? If you get an infection, is that a good thing?
No.
They're infecting your mind. Hot 103 playing all this stuff, talking about everything wrong in our community. Not in the good sense either. Not in the good sense. Talk about how many AKs they got. Talk about how much dope they done flipped. Talk about how many females and girls they done ran through. This is real though. I'm being real. Right? I'm being real. And you're seeing this cycle of death. You're seeing this cycle of misery. This cycle of poverty just continue. Because we're not thinking. That beat is cold, boy. You hear that beat? But the words are just beating you in your head. And you don't even know that you're thinking like that now. Okay? I'm going to leave y'all with this. Check it out, right? How can I go? Can I be real? Can I be real? I'm not going to use any curse words. Can I be real? Okay. I'm trying to think which one I'm going to do. Okay, listen to this one. Little nappy head nigga, right? He's a little critter who never had a chance from day one. Just raising in the sun, raised in the slums, lives by the gun and will more than likely die from a bullet wound inflicted by the hands of another little nappy head nigga. Or the trigger-happy finger of a badge-wearing, swastika-tatted, deputized, neo-Nazi fascist law official representing figure who, hey, worships Adolf Hitler. Baby boy grown into a bitter Negro, weary from the game, man, where the only rule is survival. And the most viable use for pages of the Bible is to tear it out, spread the herb, twist, spark, and blade. So it's a shame how this little thug's trapped in the projects like a lab rat in a maze, filled with rage. His only thoughts of rehabilitation are in the concrete cage or the grave. Little nappy head nigga is a fourth generation descendant of an enslaved African. Listen. Who never allows his mind to travel back to then, so as his life passes him, he'll never see the legacy of resistance that his forefathers left for him. Only a vicious cycle of death. So what's left for him is the absence of the reality that Malcolm, Marcus, and Martin willingly gave up their breath for him. Sole control of his own space and time. But he's become the true American psycho, brainwashed, taken out of his mind, stripped of his identity, and given the perpetual title of B.O.Y. branded, owned, yoked. What was it? Boy. Been employed by the government to exterminate his own kind by infecting his sisters with HIV and against his brothers committing malicious acts of HATE, and you can BET that to the system's program and design. He's blind, uncut. But all blacks entertained by television are ignorant to the signs, so never will he see the remedy for all his pain, because the quest he seeks is purely for monetary gain, slinging crack cocaine to the villagers who also seek for nirvana, but end up with their lifeline cut short like Kurt Cobain, robbed of their prana, and a ghetto pillager is the devil's work for sure and plain. But when asked by his mama to reconsider his course and beware his fate, he tells her he has no desire to be conscious. It's too much work for my brain. So it's too late for this little nappy head nigga, who is a out-of-control urban warfare guerrilla, forced to be reckoned with on the scale of Godzilla, gorilla program, sociopathological killer, strapped with AKs to enforce his rape, prodigal and pompous, surrounded by a crew of venomous mambas, and flitting around town with 11 baby mamas and 13 seeds, all of them illegitimate, surrounded by ground and a byproduct of his misdeeds. Listen, morally indigent as tomorrow's blood, he stays spilling it with the soul on ice and conscience seared as if with hot rod, numb with no living thought of, oh my God. So guilt is never feeling it. So I'm just going to leave it right there, though. I'm going to leave it right there.
That's the one I know.
Yeah. Brother Roy and I go back to about 04, 03, 04. Well, yeah, listen, let me close on this note. I want to thank you all for your time. Believe in yourself. Know who you are. Ask your family, what was my grandfather like? What was my father? What was my great-grandfather? Who were they? Where did they come from? What did they do? Because this is going to make your story your story. Tell your story. Believe in yourself. Your hand up? Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to thank you all for your time. Brother Goodwin, thank you, sir. I got my jacket right there. I'm going to go to work. I'm late. Yes, ma'am.
What's that?
There's a poem.
Thank you, Mr. Michael. He went hard, Mr. Rice. I mean,
He goes harder. That was just a little bit. He goes harder.
No.
Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. He goes harder.
Okay, Marquis.
You gotta ask Mr. Goodwin.
Y'all have a wonderful day. Great weekend. Be safe. Think. Behave yourselves.